If this is you sitting here feeling the weight of love or the weight of loss, I want you to hear this. Love isn't a movie. It isn't fireworks or grand gestures. Love is a quiet choice. It's in the little things, the way you listen when the world is loud, the way you hold someone when they feel broken, the way you forgive even when it's hard. Life has a way of testing us. It will take people away. It will hurt us. It will make us question whether we're enough, whether love is enough. But if this is you, if you are willing to sit with the discomfort, to look beyond the fear, to show up when it matters most, then you already understand something most people never do. Love is a practice. It's daily. It's gentle. It's courageous in its own quiet way. So let's start here. Let's talk about love that lasts, about heartbreak that teaches, and about the kind of loyalty that doesn't need applause. If this is you, I want you to know you are not alone. Love is often spoken about as if it's a thing you can grasp, a spark that ignites and burns brightly. People tell stories of meeting the right one, of falling headlong into passion, and sometimes it feels like love is only a sensation, a feeling that lifts you, that shakes you, that overwhelms you. But real love, the kind that lasts, is different. It's quieter, it's steadier, it's more patient than most people imagine. You see, the first truth about love is that it begins with presence, being present, not just in the happy moments when the world feels easy, when laughter is effortless. Love shows itself in the spaces where patience is required, where your partner's flaws press against your own insecurities, where life's unpredictability tests your resolve. Commitment isn't a promise made when the sun is shining. It's a choice made when the storm arrives. Commitment is a word people often confuse with possession, with control, with a contract of convenience. But true commitment, real commitment, has nothing to do with owning someone. It has everything to do with showing up for them again and again, even when it's difficult, even when you feel tired, even when love doesn't look the way you imagined. It is a quiet, unwavering decision to honor another human being as they are, to witness their growth, to hold space for their struggles without judgment. And this is where most of us stumble. We believe that love must be easy, that it should always bring joy and excitement. But if you've been in a relationship long enough, you know that love is sometimes exhausting. It is work, emotional work, vulnerable work, heart work, and yet it is worth it. Every small gesture, every moment of understanding, every act of forgiveness, it compounds into something greater than fleeting passion. That is the truth of love. Let me tell you something else about commitment. It is not a shield against fear. Fear is always present. Fear of loss, fear of being hurt, fear that your partner will change or that you will, fear that your own heart is not enough. But commitment does not erase fear. Commitment is the courage to love in spite of it. It is the willingness to take the risk, knowing that pain may come, but that the rewards of real connection outweigh the uncertainty. Think about the people in your life who have shown you love that endures. Not the ones who dazzled you with grand gestures or loud declarations, but the ones who stayed when it was quiet, who listened when you could not speak clearly, who held your hand when the world felt unkind. Those moments, those tiny, unremarkable moments, are the essence of love. Commitment is built from them, one choice at a time, one act of attention, of care, of respect after another. And eventually, you have something that is unshakable, not because it never falters, but because it has survived the ordinary trials of life. People often ask, how do I know this is the person I should commit to? The answer is not in fireworks. It is not in perfection. It is in how you feel when they are imperfect, how they treat you in the ordinary moments, how they respond when you are hurt, when you are quiet, when you are failing. Love is not a moment. Love is a series of moments strung together by intention and care. If someone shows up for you consistently, even in small ways, even when it is inconvenient, that is a person worth committing to. I want to speak now about honesty. Honesty is the backbone of commitment. It is not only about telling the truth when it is easy, it is about telling the truth when it is difficult, when your partner asks you something that could create tension, when your own feelings are messy or contradictory. Truthfulness is love, not because it is perfect, but because it is sincere. Without honesty, love becomes a fragile illusion, a house of cards, built to impress the world, but not to endure life's tests. And listen closely, commitment does not mean losing myself. Many people fear it. They imagine that by loving fully, by dedicating themselves, they must give up their identity, their dreams, their needs. But love that is true respects individuality. Commitment is not erasure, it is expansion. It allows two people to grow together without suffocating each other. It means encouraging your partner's passions, even if they do not align perfectly with your own. It is a partnership, a union, a shared journey, not a cage. You might have experienced heartbreak before. Maybe it was a betrayal, maybe a quiet drift apart, maybe a sudden loss. And heartbreak teaches us something crucial about commitment. It is not a guarantee. Commitment is not a shield against pain. It is a framework within which love can survive the inevitabilities of life. Heartbreak is sometimes inevitable, but when it comes after effort, after sincerity, after presence, it becomes a lesson, not a condemnation. It teaches us patience, discernment, and resilience. It teaches us what is worth staying for and what is worth letting go. Let's talk about time. Love is often romanticized as a feeling that exists in the now, but commitment is measured in the continuum of time. It is in the years, the months, the moments that are hard to remember because they are so ordinary. These ordinary moments are actually extraordinary. The quiet mornings with coffee, the late night conversations that stretch until dawn, the shared silences, the inside jokes, the way you support each other when no one else sees. These moments are the mortar that holds love together. They are the proof that commitment is alive. And when you commit to someone, you are committing to vulnerability. You are saying, I am willing to let you see me as I am, and I am willing to see you as you are. That is not easy. It is not safe. It is not painless. But it is the only way to truly connect with another human being. The depth of love corresponds to the depth of courage. The more willing you are to risk emotional exposure, the more authentic your connection becomes. Respect is inseparable from commitment. To love someone is to respect them, not just in words, but in action. It is respecting their choices, their boundaries, their individuality. It is listening when they speak, even when you disagree. It is valuing their emotions, their experiences, their history. Without respect, love cannot last. Respect is the gentle force that keeps love from turning bitter, that keeps the bond alive when challenges arise. People often ask, does love change? Yes, it changes. It evolves. The person you fall in love with at 20 may not be the same person you love at 30 or 40. Commitment acknowledges this change without fear. It embraces growth, knowing that change is natural, that life itself is a series of transformations. True commitment is flexible. It does not cling to nostalgia. It does not demand the other person stay exactly who they were. Instead, it walks alongside them, curious, patient, attentive, and loyal. And speaking of loyalty, real loyalty is quiet. It is not about grand proclamations or public displays. It is about fidelity of the heart, consistency of presence, and unwavering support. It is choosing someone daily, even when the initial excitement fades, even when the world seems to offer easier alternatives. Loyalty is love's enduring echo. Without it, love is fleeting. With it, love becomes something that withstands storms, trials, and even the inevitable challenges of human imperfection. Now, you might be thinking on a passion, what about chemistry? These are real. Yes, they are vital. But passion alone is not commitment. Passion can ignite a connection, but it cannot sustain it. Chemistry can make love thrilling, but only respect, trust, and intentional presence make it enduring. True love is both tender and disciplined. It is a balance between desire and devotion, between emotional spontaneity and conscious effort. And here is the paradox: love requires both surrender and strength. You must surrender your ego enough to understand that your partner is not perfect, that you are not perfect, that the world will challenge you. Yet, you must have strength, the strength to forgive, to communicate, to nurture, to persevere. Commitment is the bridge between these two forces. Humility without both, love falters. Finally, know this: if you are willing to love fully, to commit truly, you will make mistakes, you will falter, and you will be hurt. But mistakes do not invalidate love. They refine it. They teach humility, patience, and grace. The measure of love is not in its perfection, but in its persistence, in its resilience, in the way it grows stronger with effort, reflection, and intention. So if this is you, if you are here listening, feeling the weight and the promise of love, remember this: love is quiet. Love is consistent. Love is courageous. Love is respectful. Love is tender yet unyielding. Love is a practice, a series of choices, a daily affirmation. It is not easy, but it is worth everything. Commitment is not a burden. It is the canvas upon which the masterpiece of your life together is painted. And when you commit in this way, when you love in this way, you are participating in something larger than yourself. You are creating a life that is grounded, soulful, and enduring. You are proving to yourself and to the world that love is not a fleeting sensation, but a deliberate, beautiful, and transformative choice. Healing is not linear. I want to say that first, because most people imagine healing like a straight path, a line from hurt to recovery, from heartbreak to closure. But real healing, the kind that matters, is more like a river. It meanders. It swells and recedes. It carries you sometimes, and at other times, you must wade through the current yourself. And this is where relationships test us most profoundly. Love inevitably brings pain. Sometimes it is the pain of disagreement, sometimes the pain of unmet expectations, sometimes the pain of betrayal or loss. And when that pain arrives, it forces a choice. Will you close yourself off, or will you open yourself again? Will you let the hurt define you, or will you allow it to teach you? Healing begins with acknowledgement. It begins with the courage to look at your own heart and say, I am hurting. I am lost. I am scared. There is no weakness in this admission. There is no shame. Only through honesty with yourself can you truly begin to repair, to mend the spaces within that pain has fractured. And this is why forgiveness is so often misunderstood. Forgiveness is not about erasing wrongs. It is not about pretending that hurt didn't happen. Forgiveness is a conscious act of release. It is a decision to let go of the burden that keeps you tied to anger, resentment, or regret. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, even before it becomes a gift to the person who hurt you. Imagine holding a stone in your hand. For a while, it seems manageable, even familiar. But over time, its weight grows. It becomes exhausting to carry. Forgiveness is the act of setting down that stone. It does not mean forgetting it ever existed. It does not mean allowing harm to repeat. It simply means reclaiming your energy, your peace, your heart. And here is the true goodness is rarely instantaneous. It can take days, months, sometimes years. There is no timeline. You cannot force it. And yet, every act of forgiveness, even the smallest, strengthens your capacity to love fully, to choose someone daily, to show up, even when old wounds whisper that it is unsafe. Choosing someone daily, this is the essence of committed love. Because love is not a static thing. It does not arrive once and remain indefinitely. It is renewed every day through small, intentional actions. You choose to listen when they speak. You choose to understand when they falter. You choose to remain present when life feels heavy. You choose to see their humanity when it conflicts with your own expectations. And choosing is not always easy. There will be mornings when you feel tired, emotionally drained, or disillusioned. There will be evenings when their mood, their words, their choices trigger something raw inside you. It is in these moments that love's true test appears. Choosing someone daily requires self-awareness, patience, and humility. It requires asking yourself, am I committed to this connection enough to keep trying? Am I willing to grow alongside them, to confront my own fears and limitations? Healing also demands reflection. It asks you to examine patterns, not as blame, but as insight, to recognize the moments when your own actions may have contributed to pain, to accept responsibility without self-condemnation. Healing is both gentle and disciplined. It is tender with your own heart and honest with your actions. Sometimes healing involves grief. Grief for lost time, for opportunities missed, for moments that cannot be reclaimed. Grief is not weakness, it is acknowledgement. It is the space your heart needs to process what has been broken, to honor it, and to move forward with wisdom. Without grieving, forgiveness feels hollow. Without grieving, choosing someone daily becomes mechanical rather than heartfelt. And choosing someone daily is not just about the romantic gestures or the easy moments. It is about holding the weight of reality together. It is about supporting them when life is hard, encouraging them when they doubt themselves, standing by them when circumstances seem unfair. It is in these quiet acts of devotion that love grows roots. There will be times when you must choose forgiveness more than once. A partner may falter. You may falter, and in these cycles, the act of choosing becomes sacred. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to resilience. Each choice to forgive, each choice to remain committed, strengthens the foundation of your shared life. It is in repetition that love becomes enduring. I want to speak for a moment about patience. Patience is often undervalued in modern love. We want results, we want clarity, we want problems solved instantly. But relationships are not projects with deadlines. They are living, breathing ecosystems of two imperfect humans navigating the complexities of life together. Patience is the soil in which understanding, empathy, and deep connection grow. Without it, love is brittle. With it, love withstands storms. Healing also involves empathy, not just for your partner, but for your son. We are harsher on ourselves than on anyone else. We replay our mistakes, dwell on perceived shortcomings, and question our worth. Healing requires gentleness with your own heart. It asks you to treat yourself as you would someone you deeply love, with care, compassion, and respect. Only then can you fully extend that love outward. And there is a subtle, beautiful truth here. When you heal and forgive, when you choose daily, you cultivate freedom. Freedom from bitterness, freedom from fear, freedom from repeating old patterns. You create space for joy, for intimacy, for authenticity. Love becomes lighter, not because the challenges vanish, but because your heart has learned to navigate them with grace. Choosing someone daily is also about communication, not just speaking, but listening, not just expressing, but understanding. It is about creating a safe space where vulnerability is welcome, where disagreements do not become weapons, but invitations for growth, where your partner can be honest without fear, and you can be honest without defensiveness. Daily choice is reinforced through dialogue, through attention, through mindful presence. And even when mistakes happen, because they inevitably will, choosing someone daily allows repair to be possible. Forgiveness becomes the bridge back to connection. Apologies are not just words, they are commitments renewed. Actions become proof that love is alive, and over time these acts accumulate into a legacy of trust, respect, and intimacy that no fleeting passion can rival. Healing, forgiveness, and daily choice are intertwined. One cannot exist fully without the others. Healing clears the heart to forgive. Forgiveness allows the heart to love again. Daily choice reinforces commitment, transforming love from a feeling into a practice. Together, they create a relationship that is not merely survived, but deeply, profoundly lived. I want you to remember something vital. Love is not perfection. Relationships are not perfect. You will encounter misunderstandings, disappointments, and moments of doubt. But if you approach these challenges with a heart willing to heal, a spirit capable of forgiveness, and a conscious choice to remain, you create a love that is extraordinary, not in spectacle, but in substance. And perhaps the most radical act of love is consistency. To show up day after day, even when you are tired, even when the world seems unkind, even when your own heart trembles with fear, to choose your partner again and again, not because you are obligated, but because your love is intentional, because it is mindful, because it is true. Healing is a journey without shortcuts. Forgiveness is a decision, not a feeling. Choosing someone daily is an act of courage and devotion. Together, These elements transform relationships from fragile, transient experiences into enduring, soulful partnerships. So, if this is you, if you have felt the sting of pain, if you have questioned whether love is worth it, if you have wondered whether it is possible to trust again, know this: it is possible, healing is possible, forgiveness is possible, choosing someone daily is possible, and in this possibility lies the promise of that is real, love that lasts, love that nurtures the heart and soul in ways nothing else can. Every day, when you decide to remain present, when you decide to forgive, when you decide to choose your partner, you are practicing a love that is brave, disciplined, and transformative. And over time, these small, deliberate choices build a life together that is not only meaningful, but unshakable. Remember, love is not a one-time event. It is a series of deliberate, courageous acts. Healing, forgiveness, and daily choice are the language of enduring love. Speak them, live them, and you will discover a depth of connection that is rare, precious, and profoundly life-changing.